Folks, just to introduce you, Robin Giles, Eastbourne College Director of Rugby. Get this right. Level 3, RFU coach, adjudicator, trainer. What else is it?
I'm a UKCC Athletics Level 3 coach as well.
And also does the Harkin School of Rugby coaching as well. So I'll let Robin take over.
Okay guys, thanks for coming. It's great that you put the time in to be here. I know that Hayden and Dave will definitely appreciate it, whatever level you're coaching at. So thank you for taking the time. So we're really going to talk about speed training today. You will have seen, and particularly on the 7th circuit, there's no replacement for speed, for just raw speed. Now I usually reckon that if I get someone, as an athletics coach, if I get someone that turns up to a training session, they haven't done any training before that season, or they've done no speed training, so they're untrained, I reckon I could take at least a second, minimum, off their 100 metre time. It's a pretty brave statement, but actually when you look at the vast majority of particularly rugby players, I could guarantee that not one can run properly, okay, or knows how to run. I can guarantee that. I can guarantee that our entire first 15 at Eastbourne College don't know how to run properly until we've taught them. Okay, and even then they'll forget most of it fairly quickly, as you know. But what we can do is we can endeavour, we can stick at it, and we can improve them. Now no one's going to be perfect. If everyone was perfect, then they'd be running 9 seconds for 100 and not 12, 13 or however many. And to prove that point, Usain Bolt, if you ever speak, well you won't speak to him, but if you ever see any documentaries, Michael Johnson, who's a very analytical man, will quote that Usain Bolt does not have a perfect running technique. Okay? If he's not perfect and he's running 9 whatever, imagine what he could run if he was. Okay, so no one out there is perfect. So I want to talk to you about a few tools you can use, as well as a few examples, and we'll look at some drills and some exercises and some games outside as well. So, first thing, most of you got smartphones? Has anyone got some on you? If you don't have a smartphone, don't worry. There's
not a magician, by the way.
yeah, I have an iPhone, but you can, if you've got Android phones or you've got tablets, they're brilliant for a number of things. There's two really, really good coaching, as in sprint coaching apps you can use. One is called Coach's Eye, as in that eye, not as in iPhone. And the other one is, which is only for Apple products, is UberSense, UberSense. Okay, UberSense is free, Coach's Eye is $1.99. Obviously it might vary the price, but UberSense is a brilliant, brilliant app. What I'll do is, I didn't bring my tablet today, but what will do is I'll show you some analysis that you can do just with your phone. So most of you might bring a phone to a session, or some of you might, and you can just get it out. If you're doing a sprint session, you can overlay someone's previous technique to their current technique and show them the differences. Okay, and it's free. It's a free app. It's brilliant. You could do it with passing drills or whatever as well. It's not just for athletics. So there's loads of other gadgets. So I brought some stuff that we can use today. So these are laser timing gates. Now, not everyone is going to be able to get these because they're about £1,500 for a minimum setup of 4 gates. You can use 2 gates and then get them to run out and back. Okay, but I would say if you're serious about your sprinting, which you might not be, you'd want 4. But yeah, they start retailed from between 1 and 1,500. Now, if you do want to use them, please don't feel like you've got to bully Hayden or anyone else here to buy them. Just give me a call and I'll be happy to come over and test your team and just put them through some gates and some exercises. So don't feel like you have to spend 1,500. Okay, it's not necessary. Really good for agility training, but they're also, if you think when you're timing someone on a stopwatch, I time my athletics team and my rugby team over 20 metres. They're separated, most of them, by about 0.3 of a second. Okay, that's from 3.9 or 3.8 if they're very quick, to about 4.1, 4.2 if they're slow. So you can imagine that's quite a big, that's a very small error, so a stopwatch won't do it. But then you can see the difference when they run on a rugby pitch, really, really easily. You can see that difference, but you won't be able to get it on a stopwatch. It's not possible. So they're really good, we'll use those later, and I'll show you how you can use them. Now speed and power are two very different things, but you're involved in rugby, so you're after power as well. So anyone know of any power development tools you can use?
Parachute?
Yeah, so I've got 2 parachutes here that we can play with as well. Anything else?
Elastic band.
Yeah, you can use those elastic ones, great for plyometrics. I didn't bring one, but you can use them. Has anyone seen one of these before?
Harness.
Yeah, it's a harness with a resistance. Okay, these cost about 40 quid, and money is much better spent. Go and spend that on beer. Okay, it's the biggest waste of money you will ever spend. Okay, that is no better than a rugby shirt. Okay, hold on to their rugby shirt instead of that. That lasted a week before it broke.
Do they still do the harnesses, which is like, it's a blue thing and you put it here and you've got 2 big pieces of string with a handle at the back?
Yeah, they do
They're not
those.
going to put.
They do those. I still think that there's no, as a rugby coach, and not as a sprint coach, there's no substitute for a good rugby shirt. Okay, because you can use it in so many different ways, side resistance as well as back resistance. And I just think that there's a lot of gimmicks out there, and some of them are just brands that just want to make money out of you. But a rugby shirt is really good, and I'll show you how you can use that, because I think most of them are wearing rugby shirts out there as well. So those are a lot of the gadgets you can use. It's a shame I didn't bring the plyometric elastic bands, but you can look them up online. You can basically, a lot of people use them for, one person's holding these basically giant elastic bands with a harness around. Someone runs away as fast as they can, and then they eventually get slowed down, and then they've got to work back, so running backwards, which is actually quite hard, but they've still got to stay on their toes. The other way you can do it is you can get someone to stand on the elastic bands and get someone to jump. So it's basically a resistance jump. Again, really good. They retail from between 50 and 100, but they're a good piece of kit. I would say they're pretty useful. Maybe the club might want to go for that, I don't know. So those are your gimmicks and your tools and your gadgets and stuff, from free up to however much you want to spend. There's loads more out there, but a lot of it is gimmicks. What I'd like to do is I'd like to just sort of talk about what we're going to do outside. We're going to go through some drills and some games. Now, obviously, rugby coaches, you want to play games. We know that's the way forward. And most of you, I know, have done level 1s, and because a lot of it is drills, and there's no way you can avoid that. So what I would say is, I'm going to show you in one session, or 45 minutes, or an hour, or however long you want to go for, what you should be taking 2 months, 2 years to do. Maybe one drill at a time. Okay, but I'm going to condense it, so it's not going to be that many games and that much fun out there, I suppose, which is not what you want, which is why I strongly advise you to do one every week or something like that, rather than all in one session. It's just not practical, and they're not going to enjoy it. Okay, send them to an athletics club. Okay, but I can guarantee they won't teach you the stuff that you're probably going to get now, because I know for a fact that some of the local athletics clubs don't. Okay, so just a quick demo. Could you all stand up for me? Okay, what I want to do is I want to look at sort of your perfect running form. So what we'll do is I want you just to stand on one foot, and I want you to adopt as if you've been stopped in slow motion. Okay. Okay, opposite hand to knee, firstly. There you go. Okay, now I want you to go down into basically a one-leg squat, so imagine that you're sprinting. Okay. What part of your foot should you be on?
Toes.
Balls.
On the balls of your feet. Okay, then stick your upper body up. Okay. Okay. How easy is that to do? Okay, so this relates to our RFU level 1s and 2s and stuff. So, does anyone remember what one of the core principles is of the level 1? I know some people here have done the level 1 recently.
ABC, yes.
ABCs, yeah. What order does it go in?
Balance, coordination, agility, speed.
Nice one. Someone taught you well. Okay, so you've got balance, coordination, agility, speed. Well, you've just seen there that if you can't hold that position, you've probably not got much balance. And looking around the room, not everyone was quite as strict as they should have been. Okay, so actually, how balanced are you? Now, if someone can't run fast, so speed, that's the one at the end, maybe it's because they're not balanced. I was doing the wrong arm to hand, so maybe I'm not coordinated. Agile is a different one, but before speed comes all of those things. So if you can't, just because they're not quick, doesn't mean they have or haven't got raw pace. It might be that they're just not balanced and they're just not coordinated. So what I'll do is when we go out, I will show you some exercises that are good for warm-up games and stuff. They're not games, but they're a bit fun. You see the kids giggle a bit. And that will sort of start the process of how you can slowly drip feed some of this balance exercises, the coordination exercises and other things. Okay? Presumably none of you are going to take part, they're all sort of just watching, I think. You're all watching, yeah? Yeah. And then the kids are doing the hard stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So do have a break. It's going to take me about between 5 and 10 minutes just to set the whole session up, but then once we do start, it'll be pretty quick through. Are there any questions so far?
Yeah, do you have obviously there's a distinction when people run with a ball in two
Yeah.
hands. You've got to train that separately.
Yeah, I would. If you look at 7 sessions, and particularly skill-based sessions, they'll say you've got to pump the ball, as in like work it hard. Now that's about if they pump the ball not only to throw opposition off, but also to help balance. What I would say is we're going to be coaching a pure running technique now. So we're going to look for the person chasing rather than the person with the ball. However, a lot of the stuff we'll do is lower body. Very little of it is upper body, because I think as rugby players, they're slightly different beasts to pure athletes. And you'll see, I know some of the boys that play here that are at my school are absolute animals upper body. Okay, and they will never be able to run properly with their upper body. So we're going to concentrate from here down, but we will do a little bit of arms. So we're going to focus on legs, foot position in particular, and balance off there. Okay? Any other questions?
What age is this appropriate to? Because presumably once they get to a certain stage, they're not going to change their running style however much.
I think you're right, but you're wrong. I think it's much easier to coach at a younger age. If you coach this at under 5s, under 6s,
Yeah.
or even with your kids, for those of you that have kids, then suddenly they're going to be a lot faster very quickly. But I don't think it's impossible to coach for adults, so over 18. But it does, as you all know, skill acquisition gets a lot harder once they're past a certain age. So under 12s really is, I'd say, is your key time to start coaching. So junior rugby is important. Okay. Any other questions? Do you feel free at any stage when I'm out there just to pull me to the side and say, oh. Okay, so you're ready to get the wet as well. Okay, so it's a bit of fun. It's called jumping sardines. We've all got to lie down on our chests. Lie down on your chest. Okay, you go in a line. I'm going to go in the middle though. Okay, so what you've got to do is you've got to roll towards me. I'm going to jump over the top of you. Okay. You're going to then jump over the top of me. Roll up. It's going to take a while to get right. Okay, so you roll towards me, keep your elbows in. So now I roll and you jump over me. Yeah, jump. I'm jump. No, I'm jumping. Yeah.
There's only one person jumping. Oi!
Well, let's get it going on.
Right.
Roll. Okay, so you get the message. You guys are going to have a go at that in 3s. I'll come round and help. In 3s.
All right, Paddy.
Yeah.
You go in 3 and then
Crack me in the boot.
I'll show you that later.
No thanks. Keep it secret.
one on the outside, jump over the top.
Move forward.
Roll that way.
Yeah, no, it's the middle one. Yeah, I roll into the middle.
Oh my goodness. outside jump, in the middle roll.
You're jumping over Harrison.
Jump over Harrison.
My name's Teddy.
Well done. Good job.
Don't put your elbow on.
Guys, go on the outside the jump. So you're going to roll and you're going to jump. So you roll, you jump.
Oh my god, ow.
Now roll, now roll. You're jumping. Easy jump and roll. Okay, come round, well done. So that's a bit of fun. We're going to do some other stuff now. I'm going to show you how to break dance a little bit. Because as you can see, I've got the physique. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start working on our core. As part of sprinting is being balanced, having good stability, good agility, with good core strength as well. Okay, so I'll demo. You're going to go press up position, feet about shoulder width apart. You're going to take your left hand away, and you're going to put your left dartboard and your other leg up. Okay. Okay, you want to try and put your pelvis up to the air and your shoulder that's free goes all the way back. Have a go, all of you. Opposite arm to leg. Don't run away.
There you go. That arm to that arm. Oh, I get it.
I got that one arm. Yeah. Wait. That's it, good. Now come back. Wait.
You're not so back. That leg. Like, not that. And then you just stretch it for that.
One all the way around there.
Oh, it's just annoying.
Got to come all the way back. You've got to come all the way to this one. Better. Okay, well done. On your feet, come round. So that's a little bit of balance, a little bit of core strength. Okay, that's hard. Do that for a minute and you're knackered. You're probably starting to feel it now, right? We're now going to do something called, some people call it rock climbers, some people call it Spider-Mans. You're going to go press up position again. You're going to go, so the same arm comes towards the hand. So I'm going to go, and the knee's got to come outside the arm. Okay, so it's like Spider-Man walking up the wall. Give it a go, the knee's got to come outside your arm. Slow it down, slow it down. Knee's got to come outside your arm.
Outside the arm.
On the outside.
Left hand first, please. Very good. Almost. Okay. Come round. For those of you that want to be sort of slightly bigger forwards, just come back. We're walking away from the crowd. Come back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Come back. So, a lot of conditioning exercises do something called mountain climbing. There's a slight adaptation of that, and I'm not very good at these, but it means you've got to have really flexible pelvis, as well as good chest strength and good balance. So you're going to do a press up, one foot on the ground, the other leg is going to come up towards your head. So I'll show you. So you're going to go. Okay, give it a go. Yes, toe that comes up doesn't touch the ground, neither does the knee.
Oh no.
So these are
How long?
warm-up exercises or things you can do in between drills. So we're looking really at coordination and balance. If you look at the guys that can do it, I bet you're not surprised at who can and who can't. Because probably they've got better balance, better coordination and better agility.
How long would you do something like this typically
You
for?
can do this as a conditioning activity, so you could do the break dancing, the Spider-Mans and then the rock climbers and just keep rotating them. And it's a conditioning activity as well as, well, you can see some of them have already stopped. That's quite hard. Okay guys, in you come. We're going to play a couple of games now. Come in closer. We have all the greens on that side, multicolored that side. Okay, so we're going to play stuck in the mud. You can only walk through this square here. When you're stuck, stand hands up to the side. Okay, to free them, where have you got to go? Under the legs. Okay? You've got to go through the legs, either forwards or backwards. First condition, you can only walk. You can't run, you can't fast, well you can fast walk, you cannot run. So greens, you're catching the multicolours. Wait. How do you stand when you're caught? How do you free someone? Through the legs. Go. Walking only.
Nothing changes, really.
So I'm going to progress through this fairly quickly. So this is just your introduction. It took me about 30 seconds to introduce the game. Now we're going to start building in some sort of athletics-based conditioning exercises. Okay, stop. Stop. We're going to swap over, so the colours you're going to be chasing the greens, but now when you're caught, you've got to stand on one leg. Okay, hands up to free them. You go under their arms now, not under their legs. So one leg, hands up, make sure they go under your arms. How many legs? Good. Okay, swap over. Greens, you're catching the colours.
Hey, no, go first.
Run them. Under the arms, not the legs. Okay, so we're going to swap over. So in a minute, colours, you're going to catch the greens. Slight difference now. What you would have done if there'd been more time is use the other leg when you're caught, so you'd be constricted. What you're going to do now though is you're going to do one leg hops. So you've got to go. Okay, and again, just under their arms to free them. Alright, any questions? What do you do when you're on one leg? Hop. Hop, come on, let's go, hop, hop, hop. Now as an athlete, what part of your foot should never, ever touch the ground? Your heel. Look how many are letting their heel touch. What we call a collapsed foot in athletics. So if it's collapsed and it's lost the power of our calf. Depending on who you are, it's whether it's how powerful that is. Keep going, it is a stop. Okay, swap over. Come on, let's see, let's have a go. It's not bad, Okay, so you can either put your leg behind or in front, but you're going to go down as low as you can, then up. Without your upper body doing that. Why do we not want our body to do that? Bad balance, bad back, in rugby terms, I would just push the floor if I was an opponent.
taking any of it in.
So,
I'll watch it 4 times later.
one leg if you're caught,
Also, when you're
you're
doing
going to do
that,
one leg squats,
you don't take it
as
as
low
a
as you can, then up.
You got
As
sand
many
on
as
there
you
as well.
can once you're caught.
I'll shut
So
up
you
then.
can now run, so our
Thank you.
greens catching the colours. Greens catching the colours. Already caught, all of them. Okay, swap over.
Ollie, watch out.
Okay, stop. Now what we're going to do is once you're caught, you're going to do hop onto the other leg with a squat. squat in between. Okay, looks like a little bit like a weird dance. Try and get as much height as you can in between the jumps. What part of the foot, you probably overheard me with the coaches, do you not want to touch the ground? Heel. Good. Hop from one leg to the other. Okay, swap over. Guys, swap over. Yeah, I mean it's different form of training. So you just got to make it different. Okay, guys, come in. So we can keep going with different exercises like that for a long time. How do your calves feel right now? Pretty solid? Working hard? Okay, what we're going to play now is a different game. So I want to see how fast you accelerate. So you partner up with something you think is roughly the same speed. Yeah, no, so you're going to line out here. Okay, when you line up back to back on this line of cones here. Okay, we'll come around here.
Director now.
Has anyone not got a partner? Okay, good. Guys, please face me for the time being. What we're going to do is we're going to play a game of cat and mouse. Guys that are normally facing this way, you're the cats. Normally facing that way, you're the mice. If I shout cats, cats, you leg it for just about in line with that floodlight and you try and get there before you get caught. So mice, you catch the cats. If I shout mice, you're going to run and touch that line of cones, or get past that line of cones, sorry, before the cats catch you. So you're going to stand about a metre apart, so it's not, so you can't just slap them on the bum. Okay, I'll clarify again. So, if I shout cats, who's running away? Point at them. Point at them. Good. Who's trying to catch them? Mice. Me. Mice. Where are you trying to get to, cats? Roughly? In line with the floodlight. It's a bit general, but they've got to get to the cones, yeah. Theirs is a bit shorter. So this is our practice. Cats! Okay, back you go.
How many went the wrong way?
Go on, 3, 2, 1, cats! Back you go. 5, 4, 3, 2, mice! Okay, round you come. We'll go over there so you can hear. Guys, we'll just go over there so that the coaches can hear all the stuff we're saying. Guys, come round, come round. If you can't hear me, just pipe up and I'll speak louder. So, when you accelerate, small strides or big strides? Small. Small. Put your hands up, and this is coaches as well. Hands up if you think small. Hands up if you think big. Okay, remember the question when you're accelerating, not when you're changing direction, when you're accelerating. If I ask the answer the question again, sorry, would you all put the same hands up? Yeah. To do it. So if you're accelerating, small strides, hands up. Accelerating small strides, you just change your mind. Big strides, hands up. You're right.
Yes.
Okay, in rugby, if you change direction, great, small steps. But to accelerate, big steps. And it's a common misconception. We call it cadence, so the number of strides per metre in general is what we call cadence. So you want, when you accelerate, as bigger cadence as you can. So sorry, the sort of the biggest gap between strides as you possibly can. So your long strides, not short strides. Why would we want to do that? Does anyone know?
Bring a pressure muscle rather than change the leg.
A little bit. If you're running, if you're doing small steps, how much of your leg do you actually manage to use? It's not that much. Okay, so what you want to do is really drive off each leg as fast as you can, with as high a knees as you can, to accelerate as quick as you can. There's loads of other stuff as well, but those are the raw basics. So gone are the small strides. I want big strides. Okay, as big as you can. So we're going to go and do it again, and I want to see big strides, and I want to see high knees. Okay? So if you're changing direction, obviously don't do it with a massive sweep around, massive stride. Get round, change direction, and then go. High knees, big strides. Go! Nice! Back you go. 5, 4, 3, 2, catch! Okay, we'll do one more and then we're going to do some drills. Cats! Okay. Guys, go grab a drink. We're going to move over to the dead ball area over there. But do just get a quick drink if you've got some. If you've got a white cone, so you can't start back there. And you've got to sprint all the way through the other gate. Okay, don't ease up before because obviously your time will suffer. Walk back recovery. I'll say when the next person can go because I have to reset the timer. Anyone want to go first?
Paddy.
You can have another go. Okay, so one foot's got to be on the next to the cone, if not on it.
Let's go test my
All the way
counter
through the
skills.
gates, don't hit them. Okay?
You might need
All
to
the way
move
through the
further back.
gates. Sorry? Whenever you want. No, when you're ready. 3.1.
Oh.
Next.
That's quite big, I think.
Whenever you're ready, yeah. 3.1, exactly, again.
No pressure.
2.98. .94.
Pressure's on.
Feeling the heat.
2.98. Well, 1 foot next to the cone, don't have a run up when you're ready.
We only had it done a while ago.
3.21. Guys, make sure you all have a go. You never know when you're next going to have a chance to do this. You'll all get stuck in. 1 foot next to the cone, don't have a run up.
Not a bad way to be.
3.6. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I need to reset it. 3.69. Oh, hang on, sorry. Yep. Eased up early. All the way
Could
through.
hear that, couldn't
3.36.
Come on, Aaron, don't stop, mate. 3.3, and then he pulled up.
Come on, Felix.
He's alright.
When you're ready, yeah? 3.87.
Fellas, all the way through the gates, all the way through the second gates.
Coaches, come to the end. I want to see your coaching eye for this, but not the defibrillator ready. Stand back there, and I want you to see what you think they're doing right and wrong. We're going to do some drills afterwards. So I want you to think about athletics or sprinting is a game of efficiency. You've got to be the most efficient person
Darren,
out there.
it's Jacob.
So, think about what they're doing is efficient, what they're doing that isn't
Someone
efficient.
put your hands in the
Remember,
middle, you just set it
praise
off.
the good as well as the correct, the bad.
26 minutes.
12 seconds would have been a bit faster. When you're ready. He's off!
Good stuff.
3.66. Any comment?
What difference does it make?
Yep. .28. .81. No runner isn't necessarily a good runner. 3.45. Anyone else?
Go on, coaches.
Come on, coaches. Don't get sniped halfway. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go on, mate. 3.53.
Mind your
3.49.
Mind your shoelace.
You probably lost. 3.25.
That would have been funny. Nosedive.
Yeah. Are you ready?
A bit quicker.
3.5.
False perception.
Good turnover. 3.22. Okay, guys, we'll do it again. Has everyone been once? What we'll do is we might at the end, we might do some more if you want, but we're going to move on for now, alright? Is everyone happy with that? Okay, good. But we'll probably put it on later because I know some of you want to beat the others. No, that's probably about right. Coaches, could you just pick up one of the, don't pick up the cones, pick up a gate and bring it over. On the back there'll be a power button if you could press and hold it until it stops beeping. Guys, I'm afraid we're going to do this at the boring bit now, which is the drills. But it will help you just to get faster. So it is boring, just stick with it. Right?
It's going to work.
Let's have groups of 4 lined up on the dead ball line. And then the next 4 fill in behind, and the next 4 fill in behind that.
Try not to kick the cones, fellas.
I'll remeasure.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Don't worry, I'm not so, first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at something called, so all of you probably have heard, coaches as well, that you want to only have your foot, the balls of your feet touching the ground, not the toes, common misunderstanding, the balls of your feet. Could you all just pick one foot up, point to the ball of your feet? Good, yeah, it's that bit there. Okay, it's the hard bit, like the knuckle of your foot. So we want that to touch the ground as much as we can. So what I'd like you to do is just, as one line, try and jog out to the white cones and then go, if you go around the outside of the coaches, is that alright? Yeah, go around the outside of the coaches
go
and
the
the next
outside.
group will go. We're just going to do that maybe, I want you just to do it once. But what we'll do, coaches, is if you've got Uber Sensor or whatever on your phone now, have a go, just film them as they run past, and I want you to film their feet. I'm going to do the same. Get it loaded up, and then we'll have a go, okay? So I'm just going to film your feet, and I'm going to ask the coaches what he thinks wrong or right about their foot position. Okay, when you're ready. Jogging. When you're ready. Yep. Next 4, jogging. Don't wait for me, off you go. Don't wait for me. Okay, stop there. Right, I've done some videoing. Anyone else? Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to show you a freeze frame. I want you to tell me what's wrong with it. Okay. So who is on the far right on the first run? Nick. Right. You were here. Okay, so what do you think going on? So a lot of people, when they run, they try so hard to point their toe and make sure they run on the toe that when they do, as soon as they do, they go flat-footed. So there's a difference. What we call in sports science is dorsiflexure or dorsiflexion or plantar flexure. Okay, so dorsiflexion is when you pull your toe up as much as you can. That's dorsiflexion. That's plantiflexion. Now think carefully. What do you want to run with?
Dorsey.
Good. Who said dorsey? Nice. Dorsiflexion. Common misunderstanding is that you ballet dance when you run. But you don't. Why wouldn't you? That's completely reliant on ankle strength. Okay, which is if you compare the rest of your leg, it's really weak. So we're going to run dorsiflexion. So what we're going to do to demo that is I want you to, who's done power? Has any of the kids done power? What do you have to do with your hips? They stay straight, do they? They go down, they drop. Okay, you stick your bum out as if you've got a funny walk, okay? The reason we do that is so we can engage the balls of our feet and we come off the toes of our feet. So you're doing tower of power, but what you're going to do is a bit of angry bull. So you're going to go, okay? But you've got to only touch it with the balls of your feet. So for those of you on the pitch, could you do it just off the pitch? Because I'm sure that will go down really well.
I haven't got studs on.
So, tower of power, okay, angry bull. But I want you to do it with dorsiflexion or plantiflexion. Dorsey. So your toe up, ripping towards you. Okay, so that's how we're going to run. But to drill you into doing that, we're going to do a straight leg run. Okay, so the way you do this is you're going to be using your legs and your calves and your feet to bounce. So you're doing dorsiflexion. Okay, but you're trying to only let the balls of your feet touch the ground. Now I reckon that wasn't great for me. I reckon about 5 times out of 30 I could feel my heel touch the ground. Beat me. Okay? You're only going to do it out to here, go round the outside and then start again. You're going to do it 3 times. So your legs have to be straight or bent. One part of the foot touches the ground. Where do your toes point? Okay, have a go. Just in line with me. Run to in line with me. For those of you again that want to use your apps, have a go. If you've got it on your phone, have a go. If you don't worry. Score out of 10 for dorsiflexure. 7.
6.
Okay, now this is where the power of some form of video analysis helps. So off you go. you go. You're not dragging your toe, I want to bounce off your toe. Bounce off your toe. Off you go. Okay, keep going around 3 times, remember. What's your name? So I'm just going to show you your one. Tell me if it's right, if it's wrong, what you can do. Not bad. It's really not bad. Okay, so you're the far side. I'm going to play it through. Okay, let's think about the plant. Slight rather than stay there run, what you want to do is you want to use your calf as much as you can. You tip your hips forward and try and, so the only thing that can touch the ground is your right? Give it a go, see how you do. Okay, do it once more, this group, and then that's it. We'll have a different group. Don't lean forward. Okay. Alright guys, so we've talked about dorsiflexion there. That as a coaching point is probably something that not many sprint coaches talk about, because they talk about running on the balls of your feet. Again, why do I want to run like that as opposed to like that? Yeah, it's power. Yeah, it's all about power. Okay? If I'm pointing my toe, if you think about if there's anyone that's sort of engineering, physics, maths, if you're extending the contact time, okay, you're losing basically power. Okay, because you're extending the period of time, you're putting the same weight through that area. You want to minimize that by having just almost an immediate spring. Okay, that won't happen if you extend the contact time. Okay? Right. We're going to look at high knees now. That one I can guarantee that all of you can improve, and there are some other drills that you can do that will improve it. Okay, but that's just a really good basic one. What I want to do now is I want to do some high knee stuff. So you've all done it in your warm-ups, haven't you, probably? Yeah, so I'm going to do high knees out to roughly where I am, and then same walk back. You're going to do it 3 times though. What's important when you do high knees? What do you do with these? Yeah, let's drive them. Okay, really pump your arms as you go. When you're ready. Yep, next. Don't wait for them to get back. It's not a rush to get as many in as you can. I know that sometimes you're asked to do that. I'm not asking that now. But I do want you just to think about getting your knees up and arm dry. It's not about the intensity here. Okay, off you go. Think about your dorsiflexion. Some of you are letting your toes point. So I want toes up. I want toes up. Oh God. And again. So a minimum of 2. Are those knees as high as you can? Be honest with yourself.
You're running like that.
Jacob, you're doing quite large strides. What do you think you're doing with your toes?
I started doing this straight.
Yeah. So narrow the stride. I'll video your next one. You can watch. Okay. Don't point your toes down. Get them up. Hang on, Jacob. Hang on.
Stardom.
Okay, let's go. Jacob. We're going to do one easy drill and then we're going to do a very hard drill, then we'll go back to this one and then we'll finish with some slightly fuller sprints, or some what we call transitions and some strides. But what we're going to do now is, so we've done the easy bit, we'll go to the hard one. So what we're going to do is something called straight leg or dead leg running, sorry. Dead leg running. Now the name sort of gives it away. It's imagine being shot in one leg and it's gone rigid. Okay, but the other leg is still moving, it's still bouncing, it's still doing everything. What I want you to try and do though is I want you to try and do it with dorsiflexion. So I have to sort of engage the brain a little bit here. So you're doing, okay? So if I was to do it side on, because that was really more for the camera than it was you. Okay, so you're going to do one leg driving up, the other leg spin shot. Okay, so what was the back foot doing? Trying to do dorsiflexion. Trying, probably badly. Okay, so I want you to do that out to me. So one leg dead, I don't care which it is, off you go. Okay, off you go. Don't wait.
He did say they wouldn't get it, didn't he?
Is that your swivel toes, Jason? I want you to bounce, bounce. Your leg is doing the right thing. This is not doing the right thing. Arm drive. Arm drive.
It's not a hopping race. Go on, have a go, actually, don't you? I feel like you want to...
Okay, stop there, stop there. So I'm gonna try and help you a little bit. Did anyone notice what I was really doing with my arms? Really driving. Why would a sprinter, not just because of the power, want to drive their arms?
Because your legs are connected to them. Your legs do what your arms do.
Yeah, a little bit, but actually if I bring this leg up, what's my body trying to do?
Counterbalance up.
It's trying to go that way. So what do I do with my arm?
Forward.
I counteract it. So what I want you to do with your straight leg running is I want you to use your arms for two reasons. One, because if you punch up, immediately you go up in the air. Okay, but it's also to counteract the other leg doing that, so it keeps you straight. Some of you are struggling like that. So drive your arms up and let's see that one leg's been shot. Make sure you change the leg, so use the other one. You can arm drive with both arms.
Where do you leave his left
Arm
leg?
drive with both arms, don't you terrible hide at the back. Come on. Turn 4 up. Well done, you stepped up. Same thing, arm drive up. You started really well. You started really well. Okay, what's your name in the red shirt? If you relax and stop worrying about them, you'd actually be very good. Okay, so relax, because you're doing the right things. Okay, right, you're going to come. Who pushed him? Right, you're coming forward and you're doing it as well. Come on. In your own time.
Pop from the clog on his foot. Yeah. Clunk, clunk, clunk. Yeah.
You can do it. You can do it. Persist. I can do it anyway.
Better.
He's actually trying to get this in trying to kickstart that one.
Don't find it so quick.
Theo,
You remember what you did with...
that was pretty good. What I'd like you to do is stiffen out that leg a bit more. That's your warm up. Now you've got the rhythm. Get straight in. Do it again with the dead leg. Okay?
No pressure,
The
Theo.
more you practice, the better you're going to get. Give it a go. Better. Well done. Well done. So what made the difference to you?
Next season you've got some drift to the left as they were.
Yeah, but what made you able to do it? when you could. Straight. That's the. What are you thinking about it? Okay. So what we're trying to do is really trying to get you to highlight that to do this you need to push off your high knee leg, otherwise it's not going to work. So we're trying to really throw this leg down as hard as we can in dorsiflexion so that we can bounce it up again. Okay, so we really... Okay, so I'm really thundering it down as fast as I can. And by keeping that toe up, I can use my hamstring and my calf to help push off the straight leg. So I do want you all to have a go. If you stay within your comfort zone, you're never going to get better. You're never going to get better. You're never going to get faster. So you should all be throwing yourselves at this. Okay, so step up, let's get it done. Don't think about going too far forward. Jacob, I want you to think about driving your knee directly up. Not forward, up. What's the guy in the cliff black? What's your name? Ollie, come here. Your legs doing roughly the right thing. You'll probably find it really awkward because your arms are here. Okay, try and get them arm driving as well. Arm drive, arm drive, arm drive. Okay, and again. Okay, last ones then. Better, better, better. Well done. Good. Both of you nice. It's you on, I'm sorry. Is it amazing? Am I still saying? Okay guys, so what we'll do now is we're going to work a little bit on arm drive that will help that as well. So you're all going to get wet bums for this, I'm sorry. Coaches that don't mind getting a wet bum, have a go at this as well. It's not that hard. Well, it is hard, but you'll be able to do it. Could you just get in a space, sit down on the floor, legs straight out in front of you. Okay, so could you just make sure you can see me as well? So what we're looking for, we're purely looking at arm drive. So if you've got, what are our key points of our arm drive? What angle should our arms make? 90. Yeah, it's 90 degrees here. Okay? If it goes flat at the end, you're wasting power. Now a lot of sprinters on the Olympics, you'll see, at the start, they will do that. I don't want you to do that. Okay, I want you to do that. Keep that 90 degrees. They're very different physically to you, and their arm speed is very different. So keep that 90 degrees, please. Okay, so when you're doing your arm drive, I want to see what we call lip to hip. Thumb goes from your lip to your hip. Okay, so lip to hip. Okay, so you can stick your thumb out and start doing that. So just start doing that on the spot. Head up, chest out, shoulders back, nice and proud. Okay, so stop, relax. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a speeded up version of that. So you're going to start off chilled, then I'm going to say sprint. Okay, and it will look like you're levitating a little bit. So I want to see, and the coaches, we're going to judge this as well, who the best levitator is. Okay?
Start there.
Who look, and so I'll say
I'm going to pan round everybody.
So sort of normal, then I'll say sprint, then I'll say normal again, okay? Alright, so normal, just going pretty chilled out, mellow. Lip to hip, lip to hip, lip to hip. So I want to see your elbow come back.
Bring your elbows through.
The end of your side, your thumb coming up. I can feel that. So drive it back. Sprint! Okay, stop, relax. Coaches, what would you say the one major flaw of their technique is if I was to treat them as a group? So yeah, they're up here, but also they're doing this. Okay, where should their elbow be? Yeah, you drive it back. If you think about a muscle like a spring, the faster and harder you drive it back, the faster and harder it's going to drive forward. So I want you to think about putting your elbow back and not just about doing this and trying to jump with your bum to look like you're levitating. Okay, so elbows back and remember lip to hip. So start off pretty mellow, so normal. It's better, all of you, much better. Heads up, chest out, shoulders back. That's our strong body position when you squat, if any of you squat ever, you might not. Okay, that's our body position, that's our strong body position. Sprint! Okay, relax. So a lot of you stopped before I said stop. You can't sprint for 5 seconds, you're in trouble on a rugby pitch. Okay, so normal. So it's pretty relaxed. Think about your form, think about your technique. So I'm going to go, I'll say sprint, then I'll say normal, then I'll say sprint, then I'll say normal, then I'll say sprint, and so on. Keep going, don't stop. Elbows right back, keep that 90 degrees. Sprint. Normal. Your elbows aren't really coming back. Right, that's better, yes, that's better. Head up then. Sprint. Good 90 degrees. Normal, you've got really good 90 degrees here, well done. Relax your hands. Sprint! Okay, relax. Stay on your feet. Quite hard work, isn't it? What we're going to do is we're going to translate that into our high knees. So we're going back into high knees over a short distance, and I want to see as much arm drive as you possibly can. Okay, let's line up. Just to me. High knees, don't think about how far forward you can go. Think about arm drive and getting those knees up. What about your toe? Dorsiflexion, point it up. Okay, high knees to me, off you go. Great arm drive, all of you, well done. Okay, off you go. Jacob, toes up, dorsiflexion, remember. Okay, go. Much better arm drive, all of you again. Go. There you go. Relax. Better, hold on. Go. Head up, knees up, knees up, knees up, knees up, knees up. Better. Okay, we'll wait there. So, when we're doing the straight leg stuff, I know that was a few minutes ago, but what was on the floor? What could you put on the floor that it will encourage one knee to go higher? Not everyone has them, not every club has them, but I'm sure there are some here. Hurdles.
Hurdles, yeah.
Hurdles, yeah. Yeah, I know they're different brand names everywhere, but they're those little hurdles. If you don't have them, put a cardboard box on the floor. Okay, or a cereal packet, or something. Again, you don't need to spend a fortune to improvise coaching kit. Okay, so you could do that on, so if I'm running over the hurdles or the cereal boxes on one leg, and this leg is outside, it's to the side. Okay, good tool to get their knees up because a lot of them were dragging their feet. So, we're going to do a bit of a combination. There isn't too long left, guys, so just stick with me. So you're going to do high knees to there. You're going to open out your stride, so lengthen your stride to here. What I don't want to see is your knees go lower. I want you to maintain your high knees, but lengthen your stride. Okay, high knees to here, strides, or lengthen your stride to there. Just keep your knees high. Okay, go. Keep your knees high, lengthen your stride. Try, I know it's hard, try and think about that dorsiflexion, toes up. Okay, go. Keep your knees high, well done. Good high knees, but your dorsiflexion, toes up can improve. Okay, go. Jacob, I want you just to think about driving your knees as high as you possibly can. Yeah, go. Stay away from me. Get a couple in. All the way through the lines, guys. All the way through the line. Okay, coaches, can you come and stand at the end again? Just around, roughly around here. Obviously, don't get in their way. Just have a bit more of a breather. Just wait there. So, coaches, what I want you to look for now is, again, we're looking for efficient animals. Okay, we're looking for efficient athletes. So I want you to look at, if we want to run straight, where does everything have to point? Everything, that includes toes and heels. They're really common, so when someone's heel collapses, they run with their heel in or their heel out. So I don't know, I haven't seen anyone do it because they're going to stand on the side. I want you to try and keep an eye out for it. I'm going to try and video it. I guarantee someone here will do it, because kids and boys tend to have weak ankles. And that's when that heel collapses and when the foot comes in or out. So again, this is one of those tiny things that I reckon I can improve on 95% of the population.
Nick was doing quite a nice one actually. Suckers.
Okay,
This is boring
guys,
dancing.
bear with me just a second.
They're going to take you. We're going to wipe your camera out.
Wipe me out at
Guys,
the
can you
same
make
time.
sure when you ease up, you avoid the crowd and the camera?
I'm behind the camera.
Okay,
Hang
off
on.
you go.
Ready? I heard a bloody elephant. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Nick's heel's just flicking across a little bit behind him.
One in red. Red comes in.
Yes, there's a couple of
Closing the feet.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah, he does. Ben does.
Yeah, actually doing. And this one here is on the right.
Yep.
Don't know how far.
Okay, ease up, relax. So,
Yeah.
common mistake is it? Common mistake is between that cone and this cone, your knees drop. Some of you are, some of you aren't. Another common mistake is that when you drive off, you drive your foot, so if I'm looking at you, so if you can all see, your foot twists out and your heel in. Okay, there are a couple of you doing it, but it's not huge at the moment. So what I'm going to stand quite a lot closer. Please don't hit me. I want to try and video some of you that do and don't do it, okay? So avoid me, please. A bit of spatial awareness would be good. Don't run away from me. Or someone here as well.
Yeah.
So the form isn't bad, coaches, but we'll just show you a quick example of what we mean. It's only a slight collapse, but it is a collapse. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll pass this around in a minute. So the first few are alright actually, apart from when they run away. So it's hard, you need to be dead straight on. It's very hard to see. So again, on most of this software you can slow it down. So what I've done is I've just put it to an eighth of the speed. Okay, so as he drives off, I'm looking at this foot here, for this group here. As he drives off, look at what his foot's doing. Sorry, go back. Okay, what part of the foot is he driving off? Yeah, he's driving off the outside of his foot. As he comes, as that his right foot comes up now. Have a look at which part. See the twist?
The guy in red?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We said his feet were going in, didn't we?
Yeah. So there, like what I'll do now is I'll go show him. As soon as you finish the high knees, your knees to drop. Keep them up, please. Right, remember, muscles are springs. The further you drive it up, the faster it's going to drive down. Okay, that's what we want. Right, so high knees, then full sprint. So what we call this period here is transition. So this goes from high knees, and then you're slowly or fast doing a transition from high knees quite slow to full sprint. What I don't want to see you do is that. You keep your chest up and your shoulders back. You don't run like that, but you don't run like that. Okay? Let's have a go. Knees up, don't lean forward. Well corrected. One more each, and then we'll put the laser gates out. High knees, don't let your knees drop. Don't point your toes down, don't point your toes down, keep your toes up. 3.42.
Oh, yes! Downhill that did it.
Is that faster? Is that faster? Yeah. 3.06. Is that faster? I'd be surprised if anyone was faster. We've already You stumbled, so I don't think that'll be faster, but 3.06. So it's not much slower though, it's not bad. .08. You got faster. That's faster, is it? Oh, hang on, stop. Wasn't ready. Sorry. You want a break? No. You ready? Yeah, slight slip, so it probably isn't faster. 3.20. Yeah. Faster. Okay. So some of you are starting with a straight leg, try and bend your legs, sprint started. Go on, Matt. Good stuff. 3.42. Faster.
Everyone plays so many positions really, don't they? The dads are quicker.
Because they're taking longer to warm up.
3.24. Better or worse?
3.24. Worse.
How much? 3.87. On high knees, don't forget the other stuff. 3.35. Guys, don't just run how we've just been doing. High knees, arm drive, don't forget those bits. 3.73. No. Put up on the white page. Everything else fine, but not. 3.123.
That's faster.
3.07.
No, slower.
Your right arm is quite up like that. So you want to relax the bed, isn't it? Yeah. 90 degrees. You're like that.
Yeah.
3.86. You need to pick your knees up. They're quite low. Good dorsiflexion, keep working. 3.72. 3.58.
Look at the faces. Yeah. Nobody's relaxed.
3.53. How much faster?
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Point 100.
3.42.
On the other Monday, the Sussex Development thing. It's movement breaks.
Yeah, but
This sort of thing is working to that. Because he said
3.13.
all in one session. So not spending 2 hours coaching. It's been completely.
Anyone else want another go? Last chance. Take your chance. 3.13. Yeah, 3.13.
Not the second power. No. The faster ones are 3.06.
3.18. Keep your head up. You're dropping. Chin. Good arm drive. 3.42.
They've stopped on the long rather than they want to run really to their gate.
Got tired
Stopping
there.
before
Slow down at the end.
Stopping before the line.
3.85.
Right through the line.
Right through it. Right past it. He's not again.
3.43. 3.86. Got a lot of heels collapsing. Keep your dorsiflexion, please. 3.06.
I think up here.
3.31.
What was your quickest? 2. And then 306, 306.
3.51.
What's yours, Nick? The first one.
No, my second.
What was the first? Your very first one.
3.25.
So you're a little bit quicker on the first one. Second one as well. And that last one was 3.3.
Yes, that's right.
3.71.
Probably the most realistic one. Cool. Ollie Betcher. Look at his face.
3.11.
Enjoy it.
You are so tense.
3.53.
Yeah, you watch it on this like Angry Man.
3.09.
Oh,
Your knees have dropped. Your knees have gone low. Come on.
so don't take much to get fatigued, is it? I've done a lot of work, really.
It's like, not only does it teach them to be fast, it's teaching them to use it. It makes them a proper tackle.
Yeah.
3.16. Four flat.
Oh, Paddy! Go, Usain!
Don't fall.
3.34.
Woo!
Quicker?
No, yeah, go on. Now, what was it really?
3.34.
Really? Oh, that's awesome.
Watch how tense this one is. His head goes up and down, looking up, looking down.
3.09. Okay, guys. Hey, coaches, it'd be quite good just to review some key points we didn't cover inside if you've got 5 minutes. I'll hang about for drinks. Do feel free to come and ask. So, what we've covered there, as you can see, I'm shocked that some of them even got close to improving, because they did 40 minutes of exercise in between, and their legs should be quite fatigued. So that some of them did improve, and some of you did improve, and for them to not be miles off was quite good actually. We're also, what I'd say is, I'd reiterate, that's over, you do those or a part of those every session for 2 months, and they will get faster, I've no doubt about it. A lot of people, when they think about sprint training, they want to get faster, and they think, okay, do 100 metres, do 100 metres, do 100 metres, do 100 metres. No. Okay, you want to do, especially with rugby sprint training, do relative distance training. So if they're sprinting 20 metres in a match, make them sprint 20 metres when they train. Don't make them sprint 200 unless you're doing it as a fitness session. Okay, because it serves no purpose in rugby. Because how many times do they sprint 200 metres? Or even, in fairness, how often do they sprint 100 metres? And if they have sprinted 100 metres, the chances are they're clear by then. So what I would say with sprint training for rugby is do your 5s, do your 10s, do your 20s. Maybe do your 50s, but don't do your 100s, your 200s, unless you're using it as a fitness session. The key to making someone fast is repetition. So it's not just those drills. I then say, right, we're going to do 10 20 metre sprints, 10 50 metre sprints, and that would be our sprint session. Quite hard, but then if you think about them as athletes, you then say, okay, full recovery in between. So walk back, okay, have a quick drink, line up, off you go in your own time. If you're doing it as a rugby coach and it's a conditioning session, you might want to do that differently, but that's your call. Depends what your goals of the session are. So there are loads of key points to sprinting, and I will forget some, but just to rattle off a few. 90 degrees, lip to hip with the arm. Balls of your feet, dorsiflexion. Knee should be coming up to pretty close to waist height. At the end of your stride, a lot of people won't finish their stride, so you'll see them finish with a kink in their leg. You want them to use their whole hamstring. Again, hamstring is one of our strongest muscles, so let's use it. Okay, if it's there, it doesn't take much time to put it to there. Especially when you're accelerating, a lot of people won't use their hamstring. And that's where this lean forward comes from in the start. You'll see the Olympians do. So the only reason they're leaning forward is so they can engage their hamstring and keep their body straight. Okay, so that's why they're leaning forward more than perhaps some rugby players would. But you want to engage the hamstring. You want to look for this collapsing heel or collapsing foot when they run, so no part of the heel should touch the ground. Often it means you've got weak knees or a weak bum actually. When you sprint, if your heel's coming in or it's collapsing down, so you basically need to do some bum strengthening. Another one which we didn't really see out there is running like this. Girls particularly bad at running like that. Different issues with boys, but you do see it, especially the big forwards will tend to run like that. So make sure they're running everything down a channel, so everything going forward. We talked outside about tensing up this. Not so bad over 5 or 10 metres, but as soon as you get beyond that, you get really tired and you'll lose speed. So a way you can do that is I was always told to blow out, so I make a fish face. So, and by doing that, I can't tense my neck, can't physically do it. Okay, as long as I'm blowing out hard. So that's one method you can teach them. Another one is a lot of people, including me, sometimes run like with straight hands like this, judo chop. So if you do that, your hand might come out to the side. So if you do see people that their hands come out to the side, ask them to cup their fingers in. Okay, and that strengthens the wrist and it stops it coming out like that. It's a small margin, but when they're running like that, that's slowing them down and they can't engage their bicep, which you want to drive forward. Yeah, don't let them lean forward when they're trying to accelerate. Make sure they stay relatively upright, relatively. A little bit of lean forward is alright, but you don't want to see them go almost horizontal, because then all their power is going down and not forward. There's loads of stuff to do with sprint starts, but none of it's really relevant to rugby. So probably, if you've got any questions, I would have missed about 50 key points probably, but if you've got any questions, make sure you do ask them. But I hope you found it useful. I'm sorry it's gone on a bit longer than we initially said, but I hope you got something out of it.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.